Good evening all and welcome to the Board of Education regular business meeting. Today is October 2nd, 2023. Can I please have a motion to open the meeting? October 3rd, that's right. Keep making that mistake. Bill first, second. Tom, all in favor? That is everyone. It is upon recommendation from the Superintendent of Schools that the Board of Education enter an executive session to discuss collective bargaining in accordance with the open meetings law. Can I have a motion? First by Kelly, second by Teresa. All in favor? That is everyone. All right, we'll be back in around half an hour, or in about an hour. Yeah. All set? Okay. Welcome back, everyone, to the Board of Education meeting of October 3rd, 2023, regular business meeting of the Huntington Board of Education. Can I have a motion to adjourn the executive session and return to the regular business meeting? Michelle, one. Tom, second. All in favor? That is everyone. Mrs. Christine Bernanke is unable to attend today. Dr. Ruby Harris is unable to attend today. Can please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Reminder that we have exits in the back side and the side of the auditorium. We should direct ourselves to the illuminated exit signs in case of an emergency. This is a smoke-free campus and smoking is not permitted. I'm going to move on to the approvals for today. It is my recommendation from the Superintendent of Schools that the Board of Education approve minutes from the meeting of the Huntington Union Free School Board of Education dated September 11th, 2023. Can I have a motion? Kelly, Michelle seconds, all in favor? That is everyone. We have two FYIs of budget transfers and claims audit report. Any questions about that? No? Moving on to the treasurer's report. It is upon recommendation from the Superintendent of Schools that the Board of Education approve the August 2023 treasurer's report. Can I have a motion? Bill, second by Tom. All in favor? That is everyone. And moving on to warrants. It is upon recommendation from the Superintendent of Schools that the Board of Education approve the attached warrants, which we certified for payment on September 13th, 2023 and September 27th, 2023. Can I have a motion? Kelly and Teresa, all in favor? That is everyone. All right, now we move on to the fun part. Board of Education communications, I have a few. Farmingdale suffered a terrible tragedy, and both teachers that passed had connections to our district. In the face of such terrible heartbreak, our students and staff admirably commemorated Farmingdale throughout the week. At this moment, I would like to call for a moment of silence in their honor. Thank you. September 15th to October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month, and 6 of our seniors were awarded the Town of Huntington Hispanic Heritage Student Achievement Award. The students will be presented and celebrated at the annual Hispanic Heritage Celebration Night at the Town of Huntington. I believe that it'll be tomorrow night. So congratulations to Genesis Acevedo, Saida Corean, Emily Guardado Valle, Andrea Mani Munoz, Damaris Mani Munoz, and Kelly Zelaya. Well done. And if weather permits, homecoming is this weekend. The bonfire is this Thursday. Hopefully the parade isn't ruined by the rain. And I'd like to open the mic to my fellow board members. Any comments?
I actually just have 2 words of thanks. I had missed Christian's first meeting, so he was kind enough to help me sort of view all of the capital improvements that were done over the summer, and I just wanted to thank Mrs. Campbell for inviting me into Woodhull, and just wanted to say how great the experience was and how wonderful the building looks. It was really great to see. And I had the unique opportunity of speaking to some virtual enterprise classes at the high school this week. And that's the fun part of kind of doing this. And I really had such a wonderful time and cannot stress enough how impressed I was with our students. They're mostly juniors, and if you haven't heard about the virtual enterprise program, it's pretty it's pretty great. They actually create a business, and they're executives. I think each team has about 5 executives, and they create a product and they see it through to the end. And they were engaged. Ms. Tyree Furman was great. There was a great back and forth, a great discussion, and it just, we're doing great things. So it was a great day.
Wonderful. You missed him at his first board meeting. I think we're lucky because he did come back. Anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to just talk once again about the Huntington Booster Club annual fundraiser. The Booster Club is proud to present its annual fundraiser taking place on Saturday, November 11th, 2023 at the Paramount. This year, the headlining act is none other than Huntington's own Bogman. And it's for the honorees for Greg Klein, who embodied the best of Huntington. There's going to be a ticket holder special sound check hour for both students and for families alike, starting at 6:30, and it's being sponsored none other than the Palacios family. And limited ticket availability, but it all goes for the great cause for our performing groups and for our sporting teams. And please make sure that you go to the Huntington Booster Club site for tickets. It's sure to be an unbelievable event.
The buzz is that somebody might be the opening act.
Yeah, there might be some other local bands there that will be an opening act. Yeah.
Anyone else? Michelle? No, I thought you were reaching for the mic. Mr. Bone, mic is yours.
Thank you. I also would like to echo Xavier's remarks regarding Ms. Paltieri and Ferrari. Deep loss, Farmingdale is hurting, and I want to thank our music staff, all of our staff that knew Ms. Paltieri, Ms. Ferrari, everyone wearing green. It was a great show of unity and compassion, so I'm very thankful for everyone stepping up and recognizing the hardships that they're facing. I also think that speaks volumes, although I've only officially been here 1 month, of just the rich, supportive, and empathetic compassion that is demonstrated in the community. So I want to thank the entire community for that. I'd like to just share some upcoming things. As Xavier mentioned, we're hoping for better weather this coming week. We have the bonfire, then the floats, and homecoming, including the parade. We've had 2 evening events with lights, and those seem to be very successful. This upcoming couple weeks, you'll see on the calendar quite a bit of harvest events, pictures, everyone getting their fancy clothes and getting their hair done. We have family engagement nights coming up as well. And of course, adult ed kicks off next week. For the parents that are in the 4 to 9 grade span, just keep in mind on eSchool are the individual parent reports. Take a look at those. Look for areas of growth and download the report. Take a look at that. I'd also like to just share with the board and the community. I was recently at the state superintendent conference. There's quite a bit of discussion about flexibility in teacher certification. That should help with the teacher shortage. We'll see what direction the state goes in that. Also, some discussions on AI and where does that fit in and what will that lead to. We're internally doing some professional development on that to try to stay on top of that as well. We also had a discussion with the commissioner about ongoing things. One of the things that I think all of the superintendents were looking to hear more about was the Blue Ribbon Commission, and they are very tight-lipped. So we're hoping in the month of November we'll hear more about the Blue Ribbon panel and what their recommendations are for the state. And before we get to the future discussion, I also want to highlight that we have AP 101 coming up on October 11th for the mostly 9th grade families, but all are welcome as well. That's it.
As part of the celebrations, we have a dunk tank, and I don't know if you read your contract well, but it requires that you sit in the dunk tank.
I did read that well, and that was removed.
All right, so now we'll move on to public commentary. Public commentary is open to residents and employees of the Huntington School District. Speakers are limited to 3 non-transferable minutes per person. Michelle will keep track of the time. There will be a maximum of 30 minutes total for all comments. We will open it up again for a second public commentary toward the end of this meeting. Priority will be given to comments related to today's regular business meeting titled Items for Discussion and Action. The public commentary is not intended to be a question and answer session with the board members or our administration, and speakers should not expect to engage in discussion with board members or administration. When you approach the podium, please identify your affiliation to the district, whether you're a resident or an employee. Use the form at the podium to sign in. Please refrain from naming any students or any employees of the district in your commentary. Anyone?
Thank you. Good evening, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Bowen, members of Central Administration. My name is Jim Ruben Perez. I'm a resident and a parent. My husband Eric and I have 2 daughters, a 2-year-old and a 9-year-old who's in 4th grade here at the Jack Abrams School. When we entered the district 4 years ago, I did not anticipate I would be speaking at a Board of Education meeting about the challenges our family has faced with inclusivity. While I'm not here to rehash certain events of the last 2 years, I am asking for the support of the Board of Education to ensure that my family and all families are welcome and included in the Huntington School District. As parents, we want the best possible education for our children. As parents, we fear that the things that set our children apart are the things for which they'll be targeted in school. This has sadly become our reality. Our daughter has been made to feel that our family being different than other families means that it is less than other families. It goes without saying that children come from all kinds of families. It should also go without saying that children in all kinds of families need and deserve to be loved and supported. All families, regardless of their makeup, deserve equal support and opportunities for inclusivity, including the freedom to express identities and opportunities to speak about their culture and the makeup of their family. No parent should be told that others might find conversations about their families offensive. No parent should have their concerns minimized or requests for inclusivity disregarded because of how others view their child's experiences. The Huntington School District policy in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion states that our district is committed to maintaining a diverse, equitable, inclusive environment. But for diversity, equity, and inclusion policies to be truly impactful, the perspectives and points of view of all families need to be listened to, especially when some have been silenced. I'm here tonight to ask for the Board of Education's commitment to ensuring that the district's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee address LGBTQ+ issues in all their inclusion efforts, including but not limited to positive representation of LGBTQ persons and families in curricula, books, and other media. I'm also here to ask that the Board of Education advocate for the leadership in each school to include a message of support and celebration of Gay Pride Month each June, as well as putting into place learning activities explicitly tied to Gay Pride Month. Lastly, if these efforts are challenged, I'm asking for the Board of Education's support in publicly denouncing false beliefs that conversations about all identities will predispose a child to adopt an identity or orientation other than their own, as well as disputing outdated and harmful notions that these conversations need to be handled in a discreet way, when in fact, a well-rounded, uncensored curriculum that includes positive representation of marginalized groups, including LGBTQ persons, will only strengthen and empower our community. I'm joined here tonight by several friends and true allies, many of whom are fellow members of our religious community, the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Huntington, a place where our daughters feel fully welcome and embraced. I'm positive with your support, they'll come to feel the same way about our school district. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Anybody else? All right, we're moving on to Advanced Placement Scholar Awards. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'm sorry, my name is Jennifer Brown. I am a resident here in in Huntington Station. I'm a parent of a kid at Woodhull Intermediate School, and I'm here to support what Jim just said and second all of those suggestions. I was disappointed to hear from fellow parents about the lack of support for LGBTQ families in our district. It appears that there are inconsistencies across schools, and I recommend you release a statement to school staff about our policies around displaying support for LGBTQ plus families. Specifically, make it known that it is not only okay, but welcome to say things like, we support our LGBTQ plus families during Pride Month and throughout the year, and to display rainbow flags. As leaders in our school district, you must model this as well and release statements in support of LGBTQ plus families. During Pride Month, I saw that the Huntington Union Free School District made a post about Pride on Facebook, and I also found it on the school district website dated June 15th. When I did a search on the district website for Pride Month, I found no other posts, not from the past years or anything. The June 15th post says, Huntington students put their pride on display. It goes on to talk about Huntington Pride and how elementary grade students in the district, quote, recently took an opportunity to share the pride they have in their individual gifts and talents and in who they are as young people. I could see one image of a rainbow background and on the bulletin board, but no rainbows on the other two images from the other schools. The students wrote about having pride in who they are. This is great, but I am left wondering if this is supposed to replace an actual display of support for Pride Month and for our LGBTQ plus families and students. There was no official statement from the school district that I am aware of or any post about pride displays at Findlay or the high school. It is not difficult to approach the topic in an age-appropriate way for all grade levels. For example, in elementary schools, we can show support for diverse families by having parents submit family photos and stating that we support LGBTQ plus families. If we model it at a young age to children, then they will grow up knowing that we support them no matter whom they love. Part of the reason we moved to this district is because we heard positive things about the district's emphasis on diversity and inclusion. I am happy to see the district goals that you are confirming tonight. 3 of them go directly to what I'm talking about. The first one, part of it says, maintain the district's commitment to enhancing its culture of appreciation for the diverse nature of our school district and its students. And another, implement and evaluate programs that support the social and emotional well-being of our students and staff. And a third, continue to increase measures that promote comprehensive parent-guardian engagement and a welcoming environment in all our district schools. These are great goals, but they will fail if you do not specifically address support for LGBTQ plus families and diversity in its full spectrum. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Liz Best. I was born and raised here in Huntington. I went through the Huntington school systems. My son is now a second generation Jefferson Jaguar. I moved back here with my husband to raise my family here. I thought these schools were great, so I want to share my comments and second my peers here. Third, I guess I should say. Federal, state, and county laws recognize special emphasis observances, also known as History Months, throughout the year to highlight the struggles, successes, and contributions of various minority groups to American society. Some of these observances include Hispanic Heritage Month, that was referenced earlier, happening now, Black History Month in February, Women's History Month in March, Asian Pacific American Heritage Month in May, and LGBTQ Pride Month in June. All but one of these observance periods are woven into classroom curriculum and district activities, all but LGBTQ Pride Month. The designation of Pride Month in 2000 and reaffirmed in 2009 was meant to elevate the voices, identities, and families of a community that to this day remains legally persecuted and subject to hate-based violence. It was deeply disappointing that there was no acknowledgement of LGBTQ Pride Month from the district last year. No emails or messages from the superintendent, board, or principal. Contrary to what opponents may say, it is not a difficult, awkward, or offensive topic to address with children and families in primary school. LGBTQ Pride Month easily aligns with school and district goals of educating students on respect, inclusion, and kindness. It is incredibly important to anti-bullying campaigns, especially at the primary school level, where discrimination and bigotry begin to take root. Representation and education are essential to ensuring that the many LGBTQ+ children, families, teachers, and staff at our schools feel safe, respected, and valued by this district. I ask the board and the superintendent's office to ensure that LGBTQ+ Pride Month is not excluded from school curriculum and activities. The district DEI policy and the New York State Dignity for All Students Act demand that we do better, and together, I know that we can. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Dana Cooney, and I moved here to Huntington about a year ago. I have two kids in Jefferson Primary, one in kindergarten, one in third grade. I'm here to show my support to Jim and my other peers who spoke, and I fourth what they just said. I'm speaking today to discuss what is being done on the primary school level to support the DEI policy for our LGBTQ community in the curriculum and celebrations, not only for Pride Month, but throughout the school year. From what I experienced last year, it seemed Pride Month and LGBTQ representation in the curriculum wasn't included, which was surprising and disheartening. I think everyone in this room understands the importance of representation of diversity in our educational materials, creative forms of expression, and celebrations. Our children come home with crafts, schoolwork, fun activities, and books about other history months, but not Pride, and I'm here today to ask, why wasn't it included? I would also like to know what we, the parents of the Jefferson community and Huntington, can do to help support this. I am hoping to have an open and honest dialogue about any concerns and how we can address them to create a more inclusive environment this year and moving forward. Not only is inclusive representation important for the students, teachers, staff, and families to feel valued, but we need to ensure the safety of our students, which needs to be the #1 priority. If a student doesn't feel safe, or a parent doesn't feel safe sending their child to school and trusts that they will not be harmed because of who they are or the composition of their family, then we need to acknowledge that there is a problem and work together to find a solution. I am here today to ask for a commitment from the school board and leadership from all the schools in the district to include the LGBTQ community as part of the DEI initiatives in an intentional and respectful manner to ensure the schools are producing creative, self-assured, responsible citizens who are capable of critical thought and action as intended by the district. Thank you.
I'd like to share, because this was referenced, and I'd like to make the community aware. In the spring, the Board of Ed adopted Policy 3430, which spoke to diversity, equity, and inclusion in the district. So there are committees as part of this policy. There's also teaching and learning, family and community engagement, workforce diversity, and opportunities within the schools, as well as training for staff. So I'd just like to mention that for the public so that they are aware of where the district is with that policy.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, now we'll move on to advanced placement recognition. I believe Mr. Kuzak will be presenting.
while they're setting up, we do have a few students, which we'll get to, but I'd like to just share, in May, the 2 weeks of AP exams, we had about 750 students take exams. Out of that, we had approximately a little over 100 students that were AP scholars. This is extreme, great recognition, and Mr. Cusack will kind of walk through how they got there. But it's definitely something that I think we want to highlight. They put a lot of time, and I know May is a stressful time on top of activities, AP exams, eventually you have Regents exams and other tests. So I want to thank the students, and the students that are not here will also be receiving a letter of recognition. So, Mr. Cusack.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. You want to just hit the little present button there? Thank you. All right. So I'm here this evening, Brendan Cusack, principal at Huntington High School. I'm here with Ms. Zalamia, our director of guidance and testing, as well as interim assistant principal, Ms. Avelli, who is going to assist this evening. I'd like to, first of all, congratulate all of our students who are here this evening, as they're being recognized for their stellar performance on a number of advanced placement exams during their time thus far at Huntington High School. Our AP scholars are truly at the top of their game, and we are indeed very proud of their accomplishments. I'd like to thank the Board of Education and our central administration for recognizing these fine students this evening. We do have a very brief presentation that will share some details about the College Board designation that our students are receiving here tonight. So to begin, I believe, hey, it works. Can you just slide that? I don't know, it's a pet peeve of mine. Can you get the little arrow out of the way? I don't know. Thank you. It would have bothered me the whole time. I'll hand it off for a moment to Ms. Zalamia, who will share what exactly an AP Scholar is and what qualifies a person for that designation.
Down. Good evening, everyone. Again, Jeanette Alomia, District Director of Guidance. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. And so as a former AP coordinator, I had the pleasure of seeing our students work hard, as well as going through the grueling process of taking AP exams, whether it is a digital format back in 2020 during the pandemic, and recently taking just multiple. I know a lot of our students took multiple AP exams, and so just wanted to share with you, and this is nice to see the product and the finished product, and them being recognized across the board. So the College Board identifies high-achieving AP students by way of 7 categories. First is the AP Scholar Award. This is for students who score 3 out of 5. So the AP scores range from 1 to 5. And so students who score 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams are qualifying for as AP Scholar. When it comes to AP Scholar with honors, students who score 3 or higher on 4 or more AP exams with an average score of 3.25 on all AP exams taken. That's you'll see pretty soon some of our scholars that were recognized tonight for this. And then AP Scholar with distinction, these are students that achieved a score of 3 or higher on 5 or more AP exams with an average score of 3.5 on all AP exams taken. Then this one was discontinued in 2021, but we just wanted to mention that the National AP Scholar was given to students across the U.S. that achieve a score of 4 or higher on 8 or more AP exams. It was discontinued because it posed, as per the College Board, it posed an equity concern because not all districts across the United States offer courses, AP courses, and so demanding or having that, 8 or more criteria post inequity concern, and so the College Board discontinued that 2 years ago. The international diploma, students who score 3 or higher on 5 or more AP exams in 3 or more subjects, and applying to universities outside the United States. We do have a couple of students from the class of 2023 that achieved this recognition, so proud of them as well. And then the AP Seminar and Research Certificate. This is part of the AP Capstone program. Not all districts offer this program, but we are so honored and glad that we're able to do so. And so this certificate is an award that students who score 3 or higher in the AP Seminar and AP Research exams. So that is part of a Part 1 and Part 2 criteria. So you got AP Seminar and AP Research. And then the AP Capstone Diploma, which is students who score 3 or higher in the AP exam, AP Seminar, and AP Research exams, as well as on 4 additional AP exams across the subjects. And so next, in terms of our 2023 results. Click it again, click it. Click it. There you go. Thank you. And so our 2023 results, which includes also our very missed class of 2023, we administer 748 AP exams. I know that for the year of 2024, we will be surpassing that amount. We had 106 students recognized in total, 48 AP scholars, 22 AP scholars with honors, 35 students AP scholars with distinction, 2 international diplomas, 8 capstone diplomas, and 3 AP seminar and research certificates. So thank you so much. And here's Mr. Cusack.
Our scholars are awesome, but this clicker really leaves something to be desired. All right. So to get this going in the right direction, I'd like to acknowledge a number of our students who are here tonight. And we have 3 different areas that we will call them up by. So guys, listen for your name. And when you hear your name, walk on up. And we're going to get you your certificate, and then you'll make your way to the stage for a photograph. So we'll start off with our AP Scholar Awards. And what I generally will say with something like this is if you can give some light applause as they come up so that it's not completely silent, that would be great. And then at the end, we'll have like a lot of applause, okay? So, Kaylee Bender. Ashton Davies. Kind of thought about some walk-up music, but I don't know. Lily Froggatt Bale. Thomas Girmonti. Stacy Guevara. Marley Joseph. Sam McGloin. Ruby Meidenman. Riley Murtaugh. Brooke Parks. Reese Rinaldi. I did check to make sure she could get up the stairs. I'm sorry, kiddo. You lied to me. Hannah Song. Lucas Spagnoletti. Kaylee Splendorio. And we will move on to our AP Scholars with Honor designation, beginning with William Berry. Landry Flynn. Lars Galvin. Aiden Geller. Jada Joseph. Samantha Copel. Hillel Linker. Janelle Marroquin. Ella O'Hare. Olivia Polinsky. Jack Ruthkowski. Daniela Seren Contreras. Lily Tierney. Tyler Wheeler. Might have to reorganize. It's a good thing when your stage is too small for all of your AP scholars. I take that as some kind of compliment. It's good stuff. Our AP Scholars with distinction, Riley Davis. Benjamin Edgar McNerney. Charlotte Gordon. Shayna Linker. Mary Marinello. And Jack Semmelsberger. Everyone, these are your 2023 Advanced Placement Scholars. For the picture, we might want to just, I do have a slide or two, but you might want to just, for a minute. I do have a couple more at the end. All good. A little dark.
There you go.
There it is. Congratulations. We are very, very proud of all of you, and I know it was really easy to do this, so we're very proud, guys. Great job. Listen to Mr. Hoops.
Listen to Hoops.
All right, thank you, guys. So I just wanted to mention one or two more quick points before we close this little presentation. And we'll just wait for them to... the rest of my thing. It's all good. I don't mind. I'm not sad. Thank you. Yes, congratulations. They're just going to vacate for a second, even though I'm not done, but that's okay. No, it's fine. They're like, we have marching band. We got to go. It's fine. I'll just pause for a minute.
Marching band, marching band. Is that a thing in this district?
We'll
Those of
take
you
a
who
quick
really-
2-minute break so that they can go study or go to band or do homework.
Work out.
Scholars do in their spare time.
Yeah.
So just for the rest of us who are remaining to hear the awesomeness at the end of this, there were many students as well who graduated and received this distinction as well, and those will be mailed home to them.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we can give them a round of applause as well. So see ya. Bye, Reese. Just quickly looking ahead, we are currently in the process working with Mr. Bowen, Mrs. McCoy, and our central administration, looking at additional pathways along with our departmental directors and chairs to see if there are additional pathways for our students to go even further with AP classes, because having taught AP classes in the past, I can say with a great deal of confidence that those classes really do truly prepare kids for college in a very good way. I think all of our courses do, but AP is a very good program and it is challenging. So we're looking to build some more pathways in where additional students can enter into that pathway. And it seems that we are taking steps in the right direction according to the College Board. And actually we just received this recognition just a day or two ago, but we are considered on the AP School Honor Roll, which is a recognition that shows, yeah, I think that's a good thing. There are 3 criteria that College Board uses to give this designation. We've received a bronze designation overall, but in those 3 criteria, there are different ratings. So for college culture, the way they define college culture is that at least students take at least 1 AP exam during their 4 years in high school. 44% of our students have done so, and that has garnered a bronze rating. The college credit section is to show that 37% of our students scored a 3 or better on at least 1 AP exam, and we received a rating of gold for that number. It's a relatively high number. And then college optimization is where students have taken 5 or more AP exams with at least 1 in 9th or 10th grade. We received a platinum rating in that criterion because 19% of our students have done that. And just to give you a little context, a bronze rating would be a 2%. So we are doing well, and I think there's also room for growth, which is a very good thing and something to strive toward. Again, I'd like to thank the Board of Education and our central administration and all of our wonderful, amazing students and everyone here tonight for congratulating them. This has been a very nice opportunity to highlight their successes. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kuzak, thank you. Thank you for presenting, and it's a great recognition that you've gotten the honor roll there. You definitely have a vision for the advanced placement, and the students left, but most of these students don't just do this. They don't just study. As you can see, some of them are up here with uniforms. They do many things. So for them to become scholars, they're certainly being supported by our district. It's a great accomplishment for them to be where they are today, and a lot to do with what you're doing and what the staff here is doing. Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to Board of Education goals. It is my recommendation from the Superintendent of Schools that the board consider the attached goals for the school district for the school year 2023-2024. Can I have a motion, please? Kelly and Teresa, and I'll open it up to you, Mr. Bowen.
Thank you. So I'd like to share, obviously, as a groundwork template was the 22-23 Board of Education goals from last year. In my conversations with the board, conversations with leadership, I've adapted those and moved them forward, leveled them up, we'll say, to the 23-24. I did condense and put it in 5 goals rather than last year, which were at 7. And that's intentional because I do have a feeling that if everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority. So these are really grounded in order of making our buildings safe and then elevating them into really engaging the community and working with them, and then everything in between. So I'll leave it up there for discussion.
Thank you. Board members, let's look at the first one. Any discussion or comment on the first one?
No, I just think that needs to be the top priority.
Absolutely, yeah. Security, safety. My only suggestion is maybe get rid of after the preposition to remain prepared for unanticipated situations.
Okay.
Just a suggestion, or we can leave it the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, so it's hidden, right? Like it's if that language is not there, that is what we're going to do anyway. You know, part of the work that Mr. Stein and working with the building principals and the safety teams at each of the buildings, a lot of this really is out of preparation. And yes, we can never prepare for what we don't know is happening, but a lot of it is the small little things that we do on a daily basis. You know, the security measures that we implement. We are always on webinars or calls about ways to increase our safety, so that will never stop. So I think that's a reasonable request. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else on number 1?
So you're talking about removing what, Xavier?
After measures starting from to remain prepared for unanticipated situations.
To stop at safety measures?
Right. We don't have to decide today. We're going to leave this open. Any comment?
I suppose I understand what you're saying. I know that we received the highest rating we could for our preparedness. Perhaps it's worth keeping just for people, or perhaps the wording could be changed to reflect that, showing how highly our safety procedures are regarded by professional organizations that oversee us. Don't have to determine that right now, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a contrast to me. Being prepared for things you don't anticipate, I think, can be worded in a manner kind of like be prepared to manage well things that are unanticipated, because you can't really prepare for something you're not anticipating. But what we can do is have practices and procedures in place so that when taken by surprise, it's not really a surprise because you've already got things in place to help put you in a good place there. So maybe a little tweaking of the wording. Or again, there's nothing wrong with what you're suggesting either, but that's just what I'm seeing. There's a little bit of a contrast there in what those sets of words are stating.
All right, we can move on to number 2. Any comments, suggestions on number 2?
If I may, I'll just speak to, you know, the increase in AP offerings that have occurred. You know, expansion of restorative circles in more grade levels, building action teams, diversity fairs, all of these things have been addressed and continue to be worked on throughout the year. And just the continuing hiring practices that have been put in place as well. So I think it's something that has definitely been addressed last year, and we'll continue to make sure we optimize it.
I remember the first time something like this came up, I think it was a goal number 9 years ago, and it's still there, and it's an important goal. Thank you for keeping it.
Yeah, and with respect to that, I do think none of these goals should really be a one and done. They should be something that's addressed over time, maybe not necessarily 9 years, but that's okay too, if it is. I think slow and steady wins the race on a lot of these items, and not always shifting priorities.
And if I could just add one other element to that during our public it's not a discussion, it's public commentary. Just to let you know that the board and administration do value the diversity that are here, and it is a priority, and it will continue to be a priority. And words were heard and appreciated, and we will continue to work toward that.
All right, we can move on to number 3. Mr. Bell?
So last year was really about evaluation of programs and practices that can really support our students. This year, we are implementing PBIS, Positive Behavioral Interventions and Support. So that'll be something that we'll need to assess. This is the first year of implementation. So that's really where the evaluation piece comes in and the implementation. And kind of building off even what I said before, or restorative circles. We've done a lot of work with that. I'd like to also recognize Tracy, who presented at LASED on Friday. We were one of the few groups to present on restorative circles, and I know she said the presentation went well as the feedback she got. And I think those are all great things that we need to just continue to work on and improve.
Thank you. Any board member?
I just think also the student support advisor positions that we've recently implemented too will, help to further this goal, which I think is important to all of us.
Yes. All right, we can move on to number 4.
Well, wait,
Oh, still here? Yep.
when we're talking about the content and topic of number 3, I like to feel or hear expressed in some way the idea that not only supportive, but nurturing. I like the idea that schools are seen as a nurturing environment. This says all of that, but in a very cold and clinical kind of way. To me, if we want we want it to be a welcoming, nurturing environment, and that is really what all this speaks to. I'd love to see if we could just get the word in there, just to express that. Unless that's my own personal opinion, but that's the way I interpret this one.
I could wordsmith that. That makes sense, and that will speak to really about the community at the building level of creating that.
I like the side of you, Bill.
I was just thinking.
It comes out like
I just
once
said
a
it.
year.
Yeah.
Don't get used to it.
But it is really reflective of what we did last year as a board. I think a lot of time was put toward this, coming out of COVID and finding the amount of support that we had. And I'm very appreciative of administration working toward getting the right people for the emotional support, all the social support that was needed in a very delicate time that we're still in. And I really appreciate, again, admin doing what they need to do in order to get our kids help they need.
Right, now we'll move on to number 4.
So, and this is obviously building off of a lot of, I feel like for this one, as a collective district, this is a reset year because data was apples and oranges during COVID and who was testing, who wasn't. There was also the special appeal for Regents exams, so students that did not pass were able to graduate, which is a great option, obviously, for us as a district and state. But this is the year where that's no longer in play. So I think we'll need to really dig into that data. Last year we finally had all of our students take required exams and things like that. So this will be an opportunity for really to dive into that. We've also expanded our Ready program to provide at the lower levels. That's another data point. I don't think we should ever live in a single data point. There are a lot of third-party and state assessments, formal and informal, or formative and informative. So I think this is something that we always look at and look for gaps that we can address in our classroom.
Anyone? That was an easy one, I think, right?
I loved Christian's comment when we first discussed that about data, and just
When we
data
first met
only
him for
being
the
as
interview.
valuable,
Yeah.
and making sure it's valuable and reliable. So I'm excited for you being the data person that you are to dig in.
I am too.
I think you had it right, data. All right, moving to number 5.
So again, this is building off the goal from last year. You know, I know our building principals send out weeklies via Parent Square. I think that's a great way to connect with the family. You know, there's some work in terms of shared decision-making as well. I just feel, you know, collectively that this is always something that we should look to improve upon. I will say, you know, I've attended multiple PTA events in the month of September, and every one of them said, wow, this is the most turnout we've gotten. So I think there is progress with that, and I'd like to continue that and look for opportunities, you know, whether, you know, we've had discussions about improving or providing things both at registration or partnering with the library and other ways that really promote, you know, the partnership. And you even reference, you know, Town of Huntington event tomorrow night. I think those are important things, and I just want to continue that work and then look for ways to improve that.
Yeah, always been a big proponent of parental engagement. I think it's so important to try to get our families involved in the educational process. It's not easy. There are a lot of parents, families that sometimes have two jobs, are unable to make all events, PTA events, board meetings. So whatever we can do to be innovative and try to get families involved, I think it's a win-win for the children, for the district. I think we have to continue to do this. I think that it was last night, the PTA had a football get together at Christopher's where all the dads went, which is pretty innovative, right? Because usually as a dad to go to PTA, we don't always feel like, you know, this is where we belong. So it was really smart to try to do it that way because you did get a nice turnout. Yeah.
One of the things, when I was reading this, I thought about when my oldest daughter started kindergarten, we were still backpacking paper. And now we don't backpack paper anymore, right? We use Parent Portal, which I love. Would part of this be all of our various communication mechanisms beyond Parent Portal? Because even Parent Portal, I don't think everybody uses it, right? Not everybody's reading it. So
Parent
we've
Square?
got,
Parent Square?
Parents
I mean, Parent Square, not Parent, yeah, Parent Portal, Parent Square. Even 10 years ago, we weren't using Instagram. We were using Facebook. We have a website. We have individual departments that have Instagram pages. So I think we've got all these different places. Maybe we also kind of look to our parents and our community on how they, what's the best way that we communicate with them, and then how to improve on the other ways that we do information.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think, you know, from a parent perspective, having a go-to place is really important. You know, for our students, we put all of our applications in Clever. This way they're not looking things up, right? All of our student data is in eSchool, and that's obviously a key point. But I think in terms of a hub of communication, I would probably echo your sentiments there, Michelle, where some are going to Facebook, some are going from a Parent Square message. And I think that would probably be the next move to elevate this goal, is kind of finding a centralized.
I like that.
But I have noticed even this year, just as a parent, you know, because we launched Parent Square a couple of years back, right? But I feel like this year there was a real move to streamline it. Most of the communications are now coming through Parent Square, which is good because it's not in 5 places as much as it was last year. So, but I think it's a good idea to kind of try to streamline it even further and make sure we're just having one continuous message.
Yeah, and I'm sure this was highlighted previously, but we use the language that's located in eSchool, and that's what gets sent home in Parent Square. So I think that's also a great way to reach the community based on their language.
Can Parent Square be linked to our website?
Parent Square has some options, possibly for that. I don't know if they do a redesign, but I'll look into that.
Just because we go to Parent Portal, right, to look up our kids' academic stuff, if we could use kind of like the Clever thing for the kids, right? One place where we can get it all.
Yep.
Just a thought.
Anyone else?
I'll just say this last one struck me also because it's something I've been involved in the PTA since my kids were in kindergarten, and every single committee and meeting, we always stress very heavily trying to do this. So I've heard this a million times, and it was interesting and reflecting. I don't remember necessarily seeing it from a district-wide perspective. So I'm intrigued to see what we can do when we put the full force of a board goal behind it. But I know, Colleen and Sarah, from a PTA perspective, that's definitely something that you guys try to do every meeting wholeheartedly. I know that building administrations have done that in the shared decision-making committees. So I'm happy to see this year. And I think, it took me a minute because I was like, well, duh, don't we do that anyway? But then to actually commit to putting a goal behind it, I was happy to see that upon further reflection.
Yeah, these are all important goals. I think that we're going to leave it open. We'll come back to it one more time next week. If anything comes up, we can talk about, no, the next meeting, we can talk about it then. I'm going to move on to, if no further comments. Yes.
More of a comment question. I think we've spoken about this in years past, but doing a checkpoint in the middle of the year relative to our goals, because these goals then translate to your goals, which translate to
Correct.
administrative goals, principals' goals.
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah, so behind this, after we fully adopt and move forward, behind this, I will develop a plan and with a timeline as well. So come winter, what are the things that we have done already? And then come June/July, okay, let's look back at the full year. What did we neglect or what did we do really well with, and how to navigate that, obviously, for the following year. But that's a great point as well.
Well, it seems like once we get these settled, anything that you're doing or proposing or any new initiatives should ultimately align with one of these, and you can pretty much do that throughout the year. It doesn't have to be just a single check, and it can just be continuous. Here we're going to implement this, and it happens to align with board goal, number 2, number 3,
Yep.
whichever, to keep reminding us of the importance of this as a guiding document.
Yeah, and to your point, this will be a lot of the grounding work as part of the budget process for next year. So if one of these items costs X number of dollars and we need to make sure we allocate funds for that, that's a discussion, right? And maybe things get tabled, but at least we're investigating and planning it out and still moving forward with it.
Anything else? No? All right, we'll move forward. We'll leave that one open. Moving on to the NISBA 2023 resolution. These proposed resolutions that will be considered at New York State Board Association annual meeting, which will be on October 16, will be reviewed, discussed by the Board of Education today. Our delegate is Teresa. She is volunteered to represent us in the discussion of these 56 resolutions. She will be attending the annual business meeting, and these resolutions will help guide NISBA in the upcoming year. Some of these proposed resolutions are specific to districts. Some of them are specific to county. I don't think that it's time efficient for us to go through every single one of them.
I would agree.
But if there is any one that we believe that we need to address, we can do that now. And Teresa, if there's anything that you would like to tell us as our delegate, you're welcome to do that now.
Well, I was able to attend the dinner with Christian and Christine. And there's always rousing conversation about the resolutions. A lot of them are sunsetting, so they're just kind of coming back up to extend their expiration date. But I found that my votes will be pretty much in line with the NISBA committee on most on the resolutions. It's interesting when you look at something as it's worded, and when you really start to think about the ramifications of things for a district when things are mandated and the money that it costs. So I found that my votes were really pretty much in line with the NISBA committee, and that's how I intend to follow through on.
Have fun.
Thanks.
Thank you
It was
again for
hours
doing
long
that.
last year.
It was shorter this year, right?
The dinner, but the actual vote last year was, I think it
Oh,
was
I
like
know.
4
Yeah.
hours. Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
And is it in person or is it virtual?
It's virtual, the actual vote, and the dinner is always fun.
Okay. Very well. All right.
I wisely did not partake in the cocktail hour.
All right, that brings us to curriculum and instruction.
It is upon recommendation from the superintendent of schools that the Board of Education approve CSE, CPSE submissions as delineated.
Can I have a motion? First by Michelle, second by Teresa. All in favor? That is everyone. All right, personnel, Mr. Hender.
All right, it is upon recommendation from the superintendent of schools that the Board of Education approve personnel items on schedules 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17, and 22.
All right, can I have a motion? First one by Bill, second one by Tom. All in favor? That is everyone. Mr.
All right, we have a couple of announcements. We have some new hires and we have some tenures to celebrate. So first, I would like to welcome Kaveen Lowry, who is just been appointed as chairperson of science grades K through 12. So welcome, Kaveen. We also have Nancy DiStefano, who is a teaching assistant at Washington. So welcome. And the board just appointed a bunch of leave replacements. We have Adriana Cruz, who will serve in the capacity as ELA teacher at Huntington High School. Welcome. We have Nicole Leggio, E&L teacher at Southdown. Welcome. She's back there. Welcome. We have Jillian Mark, special education teacher at Jefferson Primary School. Welcome aboard. Caitlin Moran, speech therapist at Southdown in Washington. Alyssa Robato, elementary teacher at Jack Abrams STEM Magnet School. Welcome aboard. There she is in the back. And Lauren Waldron, school counselor at Findlay Middle School. Welcome aboard, everybody.
Thank you, Chris. I'd like to also congratulate a few more with tenure recognition. We have Jeanette Alamia. She leave? Oh, there she is. So I'll just share Miss Alamia is a hardworking district director of guidance. Every time I'm in the buildings, whether it be early or late, she is there. At the end of the summer, she's provided some boot camps for our students, as well as essay review. More recently, I joined her at our grade 12 workshop and then a grade 9 workshop. And I pointed at this before, but we have a nice AP workshop coming up as well next week. One of the great things that I always love to see with Jeanette is when she does her presentations, she'll also restate that in Spanish for our families. And of course, providing the recording for our families that do miss it, because it is a busy time, you know, and you can't make every obligation. But making those postings available for the families helps as well. So congratulations. We also have Rebecca Kraus. So Rebecca is a highly respected school librarian at Washington. She has also worked on curriculum, even the next gen standards, which is great to have a librarian dig into those. She also provides professional development and takes a really big job in spearheading family engagement nights for our students and parents. So I want to thank you and congratulate you. And we also have Jacqueline Wetzel. All right, there we go. Wonderful musician. Has performed at many, many events. Her kids always love participating at Flower Hill in Washington. Although I've not seen this yet, but I hear that she combines technology, hands-on activities, and creative projects to instill a lifelong appreciation of music. So thank you and congratulations.
I think it's you again, business.
Oh, all right. Let me just review. So we have a few contracts between districts, and I'll highlight, let me actually get the approval, and then we'll go from there. I'm requesting approval for items I through M on the business agenda.
and as a Nancy, right? Yeah.
Yes.
You have a motion? Teresa, second by Michelle. All in favor?
I have a comment.
Sure.
This is a comment period, right?
Yes.
So you're getting the AAA expansion team. Xavier, you're
Yes.
getting a AAA team for your mock trial.
Oh, that's what you come into.
Getting AAA, and they get
How do you like
promoted
that?
up.
Not
Very
bad,
good.
right?
You stole my thunder. That was one of the things.
Sorry,
Yeah, it's all fair game.
All in favor? That's everyone. Michelle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I'm really excited about the STEM club charter and the mock trial. I think it's going to be a really great opportunity for all of our kids, and I can't wait to see how this all.
Yeah, so I might be stealing Xavier's thunder here, but we had the mock trial informational meeting, over at the high school, and 50-plus kids showed up. Now we're going to have 7th and 8th grade attorneys, so we're going to be in big trouble 2-3 years from now. We might need to use this facility for our trials, but
I'm game. I'm ready for it. All right, opens up to our second public commentary. Same rules apply. Anyone from the audience? No one? All right, comments by board members?
I had a question for Mr. Stellato. Is the acoustic night rescheduled?
We are tentatively looking at Friday, October 20th. We'll be making an announcement.
Okay,
I'm like putting it on
I was going to announce it. Everybody come.
No pressure.
No rain, no flooding rain.
If there's nothing else, I'd like to call for motion to adjourn. Tom, Michelle, all in favor? That's everyone. I'll be right back.